Today we are examining something most people believe is emotional, personal, and spontaneous. But it is not as random as it feels. When tension appears, most people focus on what was said. They replay the sentence. They analyze tone. They argue about intention. Yet something more revealing happens before logic even begins. Someone reacts first. Someone becomes louder. Someone explains immediately. Someone withdraws. Someone rushes to repair the discomfort. And someone remains steady. So here is the essential question guiding this lesson. When tension appears, who reacts first, and what does that reveal? And if you are honest, in most conflicts, you already know which one you are. The first reaction is rarely about the sentence. It is about the fear underneath it. If we shift our attention from the argument itself to the order of reaction, we start seeing structure instead of emotion. First, we need to understand what reaction actually signals. Emotional intensity rises when something feels threatened. Not always a relationship, not always respect. Often it is identity, approval, control, or perceived importance. When you feel stable in your position, small comments remain small. When you feel uncertain, even minor signals feel sharp. That increase in emotional volume is not random personality. It is perceived risk. Emotion rises where certainty is low. You do not react because you care deeply. You react because something inside you feels unstable. And instability does not like being exposed. It reacts fast. The stronger the reaction, the stronger the belief that something valuable might be slipping. Now consider this contrast. Two people receive the same message at work. We need to talk about your performance. One becomes defensive immediately, explaining everything before the conversation even starts. The other listens, asks a question, and waits. Same sentence, different reaction. Or in dating, one unanswered text triggers anxiety and long clarification messages. The other person waits calmly and continues their day. The event is identical. The internal meaning is different. Emotional volume mirrors internal security. You are not reacting to the sentence. You are reacting to what you think that sentence says about your value. And that interpretation is coming from you. The sentence did not shake you. Your interpretation did. Then, observe what happens when tension grows. Who moves first to repair it? In couples, one partner apologizes quickly, even before fully understanding the issue. In friendships, one person sends the first, "Are we okay?" message. In family disagreements, one relative tries to smooth things over immediately. From the outside, this may look mature, and sometimes it is. But structurally, urgency reveals something. The person who feels they have more to lose moves faster. The one who feels less risk can tolerate the silence. Urgency often signals dependency on the outcome. The first person to rush under pressure often feels the most replaceable. If you cannot afford tension, you cannot afford the position. This becomes even clearer in defensiveness. Long explanations, detailed justifications, rapid correction of minor misunderstandings. On the surface, it looks like clarity, but underneath, there is often a different mechanism. When you feel your standing is reduced, you try to expand verbally. When you believe your value is questioned, you increase intensity. Defensiveness protects fragile position. It is rarely about being right. It is about not wanting to feel small. Every escalation quietly announces, "I cannot afford to lose this." And the moment you cannot afford to lose something, you are no longer neutral in the dynamic. You have already placed the other person above you in importance. Now consider silence. Silence is uncomfortable for the reactive person because silence increases uncertainty. If you escalate and the other person stays steady, your nervous system feels the imbalance. Calm tolerance under tension shifts leverage in that moment. The person who can remain regulated while discomfort exists usually believes they can afford the outcome. Steady regulation shifts leverage. This does not mean calm equals superiority, but the ability to tolerate tension without chasing reassurance changes the direction of interaction. The one who can sit in discomfort without reacting is not always stronger, but in that moment, they are less afraid. And the less afraid person usually dictates the pace. At this point, the pattern becomes visible. Conflict does not create hierarchy. It exposes what already exists. Reaction order quietly maps influence. The first escalation, the first apology, the first defensive move. These are signals of perceived instability. Fear reacts, stability observes. When you start watching reaction order instead of content, you begin to see why some people lead interactions while others respond to them. The loudest person in the room is often not the strongest. They are simply the most threatened. Noise is often the sound of insecurity trying to survive. So, return to the essential question. When tension appears, who reacts first? And what does that reveal? This week, watch carefully. At work, in friendships, in family conversations, in public interviews. Who escalates first? Who tries to repair immediately? Who can wait? And what might they believe they are about to lose? And when you catch yourself reacting first, ask a harder question. What am I afraid of losing right now? And if the honest answer is, my position, then the reaction just revealed the truth. Because the moment you react first, you quietly admit you feel smaller in that exchange. There is no right or wrong answer here, only patterns. Share what you notice in the comments. The more you observe, the clearer the deeper structure becomes.